What's up, you guys? My name is Kaylee. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I know it's been a while since I posted a tech video. So just wanted to let you guys know that over the next couple of weeks, I'll be flooding my channel with a little bit more tech content. So stay tuned for that. But I've been getting an influx of messages on TikTok and Twitter especially, and some on Instagram. People are asking me how I got my start into tech. How'd I get into tech? Things like that. So I thought I would dedicate a whole video to answering that question, and it's going to be very comprehensive. If you've seen my other video, which I will link here, about how I went from forensic science to cybersecurity, I kind of touched base on a little bit of how I got into tech, but this video is going to be a lot more comprehensive. I'll start talking about, my educational background, kind of a little bit of my upbringing and how I got exposed to tech and things like that. So if you're interested in seeing how I got into tech and how this could possibly help you get into tech, stay tuned. Be a pretty quick video because I'm going to be leaving out a lot of things because I want to save it for another video that I'll be making for you guys. But I just wanted to start by talking about, I guess, a little bit of my upbringing and just how I got exposed to tech. So I guess you can say it's in my blood because, it is in my blood. I grew up around people that were in tech, my family. My dad, he's retired now, but he was in the tech industry after he retired from the Air Force for over 20 something years. He started as a programmer and then he worked his way up the management track. Same thing with my aunt. She works as a web developer and she currently still does that. She's been doing it for years. She loves it. She's great at it. So, growing up as a little girl, when I was around the house, my dad, would be troubleshooting different things, printer connectivity issues, purchasing new routers and setting them up, consoling into them, and just me watching him do it, basic things on the computer, setting up a network, fixing Wi-Fi issues, just basic things like that. I was subconsciously taking it in. But if you were to see my past video a couple of months ago that I posted about how I went from forensic science to cybersecurity, you will have gotten a little bit of this information. But I had my mind dead set on forensic science. Like, since I was a little girl, I was obsessed with, CSI Miami and all the other stuff. I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be a crime scene investigator. I want to be a toxicologist. Like, I want to be in that realm of work for the rest of my life. And unfortunately, it did not go like that. So that was how I got exposed to it. So let's move on to my education, how it was for me when I was in college. So, I graduated high school, and when I went to college, I, was focusing on forensic science. Everything was forensic science. And when I got to my chemistry classes, I could not do it. It was not working. It was not clicking. I was like, oh my God, I am not going to make it. If I have to take organic chemistry, I'm not going to survive. So I dropped all my classes before it affected my GPA, and I really had to think, Kaylee, what else do you want to do? So I literally started thinking about, okay, what else do I like? What else would I feel like I could do for the rest of my life? I was looking through the catalog of courses, majors and stuff like that. And I was like, I saw, cybersecurity, and I was like, okay, cybersecurity, that's interesting. And then I saw digital forensics underneath cybersecurity as a course or an elective. And I was like, interesting. So honestly, that's really what pushed me to go after cybersecurity. And I, took all my classes. Luckily, it didn't mess me up or push me back or anything, because when I was taking my forensic science classes, I was making sure that I was getting all my general ed courses out the way first. So it wasn't like I was taking my main courses mixed with my general ed, because then that would have made me waste money, and also it would have pushed me back some time because I was taking classes that I didn't even need to take. Okay, so now I've already talked about how I got exposed to tech. I've talked about my education and how I switched over to cybersecurity, and now let's talk about jobs. So when I was studying for my cybersecurity degree, I was actually working as a pharmacy tech at the time, a pharmacy technician. And I was applying for jobs every single day. By the end of every week, I probably had applied to hundreds of jobs. It was ridiculous. I was burnt out. I was tired. I was stressed out. I was frustrated with myself. I was throwing myself pity parties, because let's be real, you feel like you're hopeless when you're getting a bunch of rejection and you just feel like nothing's going to happen for you. That's where I was at. That's the state of mind I was at. So fast forward, I, get an email about this help desk position that I applied for. And I think the technical or the actual role was like an IT specialist. And it was with this small private company that, supported, DOD and some other agencies, I believe. And I went in, interviewed. It was my first technical interview. I was super nervous, and apparently they liked me enough. I got the offer literally, I wasn't even halfway home yet when they were offering it to me. So I took it. I was excited. It was the most money I was ever making in my life for somebody that was, in 2019. No, I wasn't even, for somebody that was like 19 years old, that's freaking crazy. So I was making the most money. I was on cloud nine. I was like, oh my gosh, it's only up from here. Fast forward a couple of months later, I did not last at the company long at all. That's something that I'll have to make for like a story time video, but I did not last with that company long. I was gone after a little over 2 months, and it really bummed me out. I started second guessing myself whether tech was even meant for me, whether cybersecurity was ever meant for me, whether anything related to tech was meant for me, because I was like, this is not it. Nothing is working. I just was really distraught at that time mentally. So I obviously didn't just up and quit. I had another job lined up because I was not happy with that current role. So fortunately the job that I got, it was less pay. I took a significant pay cut, but it was still contracting for the Patent and Trademark Office, and my title was like an analyst. But I was making less money, but mentally I was more at peace, and I was more, of course, mental health is a big thing. So I was more at peace, but I still was not happy because I knew what I was capable of, and I knew what my potential was, and it wasn't being used. So I was still unhappy at the end of the day. So I was there with that company for I think a year and a half to 2 years, and I ended up getting another job. COVID struck last year. I was working for that job still. They sent us home. We were working. I was applying the jobs. And this job hit me up out the blue for, apparently it was a role I had applied to like years ago or a couple of years ago, and they were looking for people now. And it was contracting for the Department of Homeland Security, and it was more money, still not a lot, but it was more money than what I was making at this job. So I was like, my role was still like an analyst, but it was more on like the policy side of things. It was not technical at all. So my last 2 roles after I quit that help desk job were not technical roles at all. And, I got into that, the new role during COVID, was working from home. It was a little bit more money, but it was still not enough for the work that I was doing. And I was not satisfied. I was not being used to my fullest potential. I just was not happy there. So I started, I was like, Kaylee, I really had to have a heart-to-heart with myself. And that's one thing, guys. Have a heart-to-heart with yourself. You guys need to be honest with yourself. What is it that you want? What is it that you don't want out of your career, whatever? Apply that to every aspect of your life, because that is what like lit a fire up under my butt. Like, not even kidding. That lit a fire under me when I was like, this is not making me happy. I don't want to do this. I know I can do this if I apply myself. So I was like, I want to get back into tech. I busted my butt. I started figuring out what is it that I have to do to get myself back into tech, like an actual tech role. That's what I need to do. So I, got my resume together. I started networking a lot more. I jumped on social media. That's a big thing. Jumped on social media. Started creating tech content. Started posting stuff about tech. Went I created a blog for myself, and I started posting there, sharing it so people can see, oh my gosh, she's doing this. Of course, networking, joining meetup groups, padding my resume, joining little free workshops that are being hosted by these very influential people within the tech industry, different workshops that I can say, hey, I learned how to use this. And then I go and try it on my own. I research different things. I went on, Try Hack Me, Range Force, all these different platforms where I can learn these different types of technologies, different types of commands, different types of tools that I can actually add to my resume and play around with on my own, so that when I'm applying for these jobs, I know what I'm talking about. I started figuring out what the certifications are that I need. I got my Security Plus, and I'm working on some others right now, but I was very intentional with what I needed to do to get in. Ended up getting an interview for the company that I'm at now. It was 3 rounds of technical interviews, which were absolutely insane, but they loved me, like, not even kidding. When the recruiter called me back, when she offered me the job, they loved me. She said they loved me and were hoping that I loved them because they loved me. So I've been working for this company for almost 3 months now. I started in late April. So far it's great. My title is a system support analyst or a system analyst, whatever you want to call it. But I also say it has a little bit of BA work with it as well, because for one thing, when I'm not doing my BA work, my main job is to manage, the ServiceNow tool. So for those of you who know ServiceNow, it's like a very robust cloud-based tool, and it has a ton of functionality. Like, it's amazing. And when I'm not helping deal with ServiceNow, I am doing BA work, which I like to call it, because I'm helping either lead or I'm supporting different projects. I help support projects, you know, with when it comes to project planning and management. I deal with that, as well as supporting the ServiceNow tool. So I'm learning a lot. I'm padding my resume, change management, you know, I'm learning a lot. So I am currently, in relation to ServiceNow, working on my ServiceNow Certified Systems Administrator certification. Like I said previously, I do have my Security Plus as well that I got back in April before I even started this job. And then I'm working on my CSA for ServiceNow right now that I hopefully plan to get by the end of August at the latest, hopefully, fingers crossed. That test is like ridiculous. That's what I'm working on right now, and that's what I've been doing. I love it. My team is great, my supervisor is great, and that is basically an overview of how I got my start into tech. I hope that answered some questions, or I hope that answered pretty much all questions. If you have any more questions, leave them in the comments, or feel free to message me on social media and I'll be happy to answer your questions. I will be doing a whole story time on that whole incident. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you it answered you guys' questions. Like I said, if you guys have any more that I didn't answer, please feel free to leave them in the comments or message me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm even on LinkedIn. All of my links are going to be in my description. And yeah, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to be alerted whenever I drop new content. And I thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.